please, then you can please tell me that, okay, and I will be happy to explain you. So any doubt on the Azure IoT Central and Azure IoT Hub? Some message. 1 minute. No problem. No problem. No problem. Okay. So okay. So if you have any doubt or any problem on on the Azure IoT Central or Azure IoT Hub, or if you want me to take a quick recap, that is also fine. So shall I proceed to the next, or okay? So quick. Okay. Yep. Okay. No problem. So I will do the recap. Okay. Now, first of all, let us discuss about about the Azure IoTs. Okay. So Azure provide different type of options for to manage the things related with the IoT. So first of all, let us understand so that what is IoT. Okay. So Internet of Things generally is meant to define a network of devices which are connected through the internet. So if we are having a number of network devices which are connected through the internet with each other, so these devices are known as IoT devices. Particularly, for example, you have the Fitbit, you have the Samsung watch, you have your Samsung mobile, you have your Alexa, you have your laptop, you have maybe AC, like that. So when number of devices are getting connected with each other through internet, these devices are called as IoT devices, Internet of Things. Okay. And why they are connecting? So that they are able to collect and exchange data from one another and through internet. Okay. IoT devices have exploded in popularity nowadays in the including that include a wide array of devices such as the smart light bulbs, smart refrigerator, smart light switches, security cameras, thermostat devices, drones, phones, wideband hardware, and much more. So these devices are all have embedded software. These devices are having software, sensors, and processors that make their exchange of data possible. So without uh, the software, sensors, and processor, no device can exchange the data from each other. Okay. Now, what options do we have with Azure to work with IoT devices or to manage IoT devices? These options are, out of these, one of the option is, say, Azure IoT Central. Okay. Azure IoT Central is one option. So IoT devices are the devices which are connected via internet. That is one thing. Second thing is, these devices are having the sensors. These devices are having sensors. These devices are having sensors, embedded software, and processor to exchange the data with each other. Okay. Now, next is What options do we have with Azure? Azure management or for IoT devices. How Azure do it? So the first option with Azure is Azure IoT Central. Okay. So with the Azure management, so I mean this is the first option. Okay. Now Azure IoT Central is an IoT application platform, which is application platform. This is your application platform, which means that APaaS, application platform as a service. Okay. What it does, this application as a service simplifies the creation of IoT solution. IoT Center provide a ready-to-use UX and API service surface built to connect, manage, and operate different type of devices. So if you this provide UX, which is the user interface, and API services, and API services to deal with number of devices. So you can connect with these devices, you can manage these devices, and you can operate with these devices. Okay. Now, IoT Central is an IoT application that reduces the burden and the cost of developing, managing, and maintaining enterprise-grade IoT solution. So if you wanted to develop, if you wanted to manage, if you wanted to maintain all the three. So why it is, for example, when we say develop, that means creating or working with the new IoT devices. Managing means if there are already existing software and services related with the IoTs, you will be able to manage them. And maintain, which means that in case if you wanted to update or edit or modify the existing services of the IoT, then you will be able to do that using maintaining enterprise grade IoT solution. If you choose to build with IoT Central, you will have the opportunity to focus time, money, and energy on transforming your business with IoT data, rather than just maintaining and updating a complex and continually evolving IoT infrastructures. Okay, so the web UI, with the help of web UI, you will be able to quickly connect devices, monitor devices, which means the monitor device conditions. You can create rule and manage millions of devices and their data throughput throughout their life cycle. Furthermore, it enables you to act on device insight by extending IoT intelligence into line of the business application. So there are different things which you can do with web UI. So this is your UX. We are talking about this. So this UX, which is nothing but a web UI, with the help of web, yeah, with the help of web UI, you will be able to do this. Okay, so it will it will allow you to connect devices, monitor devices, create rules, and manage millions of devices. Okay, and their data throughout their life cycle. So continuously throughout their life cycle, you will be able to manage that. Furthermore, it enables you to act on device insight by extending IoT intelligence into line of business applications. So if you wanted to build the IoT intelligence, you will also be able to do, and that ways you will be able to, with the help of intelligence, you will be able to manage things even quickly, right? As an application platform, IoT Central help you to transform your IoT data into business insight. So that is an important thing. So if you have the IoT data, and if you can build the intelligence out of it, okay, that is one thing. So from IoT intelligence, that is one key aspect, IoT intelligence. Second is IoT. With the help of IoT data, you can build the insight, okay, insight, and that drive the actionable outcomes. So with the help of this, you will be able to derive the actionable outcome, which means decision making with the help of data. So, okay, how you will be able to do that? Because in case if you wanted to build the insight, definitely you need to apply some rules. You need to do data export on which you need to apply the rules. You need to, and then you need to connect with the. So here, I mean, here out it is. Okay. So let me explain it in this way. So first of all, you need to define the rule based on the information which you have. Second is you need to connect to the devices. Okay. How? Using the API interface. Using the API interface, you need to connect through the devices. Once you will connect, I mean, once you are able to connect to the devices, then you will be able to do the data export. Okay. So you will be able to do the data export or import. And this is how you will be able to work on creating the insight of the data. So in case you are, in case the data will, I mean, once you will fetch the data in, then you will be able to create the insight. Then you export that insight in case if you want to to your other services. So you can do the data import and export. Right? So you can, you can generate the business insight such as determining the machine efficiency trend or predicting the future energy usage. For example, right? So in case if you are having, say, um, uh, suppose you are, Samsung want that anybody who is wearing their Samsung watch, um, whether the device is working in the perfect condition and grabbing all the data in. So the machine efficiency trend of all the devices which people are using, Samsung will be able to collect those data, and based on the data, they can identify if in case if there is any anomaly, and then they will be able to modify it. Okay, or they can push the software change, or they can fix those anomalies. They can see that, okay, whether they're the whether the digital watches are working perfectly, with proper efficiency or not. In case if the devices are not working with proper efficiency, if they have some, if the devices have some anomaly, then the Samsung can decide to upgrade their software and fix the anomaly, right? So, and similarly, for example, predicting future energy usage. So that is particularly for those devices which are like, say, for example, you have the refrigerator, right? So how much energy it is consuming, for example. um, I mean, in a given situation, for example, in summers, in peak summer, or in during winters, or during different seasons. So and also during different circumstances. how much energy it is consuming, and how much what it is, its efficiency pattern. So you will be able to collect that, and then based on that, you will be able to do the do the analytics of it, and then you will be able to send those data through telemetry, okay, and process, and to uh, wherever you want. For example, in case if Samsung want to process the data, and once they process the data and do the custom analytics, and then afterwards they can send those figures in in the form of analytics, in the form of graphs and charts, and in form of a dashboard, particularly, for example, to their management, so that the management can decide what could be the future action based on the data which is being collected from those devices. Okay, now or they can send that data to their client. For example, in case say IBM is working for say Samsung, so and in case if IBM is managing it, then IBM can send that data to Samsung, or vice versa, right? To do the future decision making, right? So, and so here the main use of here the main use case of IoT Central is, one is, with the help of IoT Central, you will be able to connect to the millions of devices. Okay, so you will be able to connect collect the data through n number of devices. Okay, no limit. Second is, with the help of IoT, because it is it provide you a UX. So with the help of UX, you will be able to manage the things easily. Okay, so easy maintain, easy development, maintain, and manage. Third is, you will be able to build custom solution, custom IoT solution, and integration using the REST API. So you will be able to do the custom. You will be able to build custom IoT solutions and integrations using REST API. Okay. Now, build solution means what? For example, the mobile company's app that can remotely set up and control the devices, for example, right? Custom integration that enable existing line of business application to interact with your IoT devices and data, and device management applications for device modeling, onboarding, management, and data access. So these type of operations you will be able to perform on IoT solutions. So I have given you the example of say watches. I have given you the example of say refrigerator. Similarly, you can think of in terms of say your mobile applications or your mobiles. With that, how you will be able to remotely control and set up your devices. These type of capabilities you will be able to build in your system using IoT Central. Okay. Now, next is about the pricing. So, as we know that Azure is providing the free services for say 1 month, but particularly for IoT devices, if you wanted to create an example of the IoT this thing, particularly for IoT Central, you have the 7 days free trial. So, in case if you wanted to utilize it, then you just utilize. You will be able to. Once you will start with this, you will have just the 7 days free trial. Free trial to create your IoT Central things, and then afterwards you need to move towards your standard pricing plan. Okay, and there are different type of plan which Microsoft provides. I mean, and Microsoft is termed these plan as a standard 0, standard 1, and a standard 2. So there are these are the three type of plan which you can use. Particularly for the pricing. So okay, next is now the next service which is even very useful is IoT Hub. Okay, so what is IoT Hub and how it is different from IoT Central? Okay, so now we will talk about IoT Hub. Let me change the color. IoT Hub. So IoT Hub is a platform. Again, both are like IoT Central and IoT Hub. Both are APaaS, application platform as a service. Okay, sorry, IoT IoT Central and IoT Hub. So again, IoT PaaS. IoT Hub is a PaaS service, and IoT Central was APaaS. Okay, so where I mentioned, yes, this is the APaaS. Okay, it is but IoT Hub is a platform as a service. Okay, IoT Hub is a platform as a service, and it manages. Basically, it is hosted on the cloud that act as a central message hub for bidirectional communication between IoT application and the devices it manages. Okay, so the property of the IoT Hub is providing bidirectional services between what? Between IoT devices and so whatever be the type of IoT devices you are connecting, and then the Azure services. So between these, it provide you the bidirectional services. Okay. Azure IoT Hub enable the IoT solution with reliable and secure communications between millions of IoT devices and a cloud-hosted solution backend. IoT Hub support IoT Hub support multiple messaging partners such as device to cloud telemetry, file upload from devices, and request reply methods to control your devices from the cloud. So IoT Hub support multiple messaging partners. So it has, because the objective of the IoT devices is to do the bidirectional, to provide the bidirectional services between IoT devices and Azure. So therefore, it require a messaging. It require a messaging patterns, or I would say multiple messaging patterns. It provide multiple messaging pattern IoT Hub support multiple messaging pattern such as device to cloud telemetry, B, file upload from devices, file upload from devices, C, request and reply methods, between these devices. So with the help of these three, IoT Hub monitor and track events such as the device creation, device failure, or device connections. So because it is connecting to different type of devices in the bidirectional form, so it will be able to monitor the things. So IoT Hub helps for monitoring the things. And what it monitors? What it monitors? It monitors the creation, device creation, device creation, device failure, device creation, device failure, and device connection. So in case if a device is failing, it monitors that. In case if you are creating a device, then it monitor that as well, and it also monitor the connections. So IoT Hub is basically used for bidirectional communication. IoT Hub uses different type of multiple messaging patterns. IoT Hub helps for monitoring your devices. What it monitors? Your creation, failure, and connections. Okay. Now, security. Security enhanced communication channel for sending and receiving data from IoT devices. Device update for IoT Hub enable over-the-air deployment of updates to help keep IoT devices up to date and secure. So how your, in case if you are using say Samsung mobile, you might be, or maybe you are using say any device, right, or any mobile. What do you think? How, you might be getting okay, update software or update OS type of messages, and then it asks you, it takes your permission in case if you say that yes, you are ready to update your OS, and it does it. So it is doing it. There is some backend process with the help of which the Samsung device, or the Samsung company or any other company in the world, they are trying to manage the devices. For example, the OS update. For example, in case if they have some particular software or application which they want to install in your devices, then they do it over the air. So these type of services, so security enhanced communication, in case if some security related thing, they will be able to do that. So security enhanced communication channel for sending and receiving data from the IoT devices. Second is it enable over the air deployment of updates. So over the air deployment of updates to help keep IoT devices. Okay. Next is full integration of Azure Event Grid. So Azure Event Grid and serverless compute. So it helps you to do the full integration with Azure Event Grid. So let me put these things. So one is the security enhanced communication channel. Security enhanced communication. Security enhanced communication channel. Over the air deployment. Over the air deployment. Next, full integration with Azure Event Grid and serverless compute. Full integration with Azure Event Grid and serverless compute. So these are some of the properties which IoT Hub help to achieve. So for example, so in most of the cases, to track any event, you are using the Azure Event Grid and serverless compute, you already know. So it provides you the full integration between them, and it provides you the compatibility of Azure IoT Edge for building hybrid IoT application. So there is an service which is known as Azure IoT Edge that will help you for building the Azure hybrid IoT applications. So it will provide it will also provide the compatibility with Azure IoT Edge. Okay, so what are the main key things, particularly for Azure IoT? One is it established the bidirectional communication with billion of devices. Second is keep IoT devices up to date with device update for IoT Hub and authenticate every device for enhanced security. So when I'm talking about security enhanced communication, means what? Means authentication of every device. Authentication of every device, right? And extend the power of the cloud to your edge devices. So extend the power of cloud to your edge devices. Okay. Now we will discuss about Azure Sphere. What is Azure Sphere? What is Azure Sphere? What it does? So Azure Sphere, with the help of Azure Sphere, billion of new devices connected each year. Actually, sorry, the billion of new devices connected each year, it is more important than ever to secure your help. To secure and help protect your data, privacy, and physical safety and infrastructure, right? Because number of devices are being connected. How you will be able to ensure their data privacy, the physical safety, and infrastructure safety, right? So in case if your objective is to do your data privacy, to manage data privacy, to manage the data privacy, physical safety, and then infrastructure safety. Right. So in case if you wanted to do the infrastructure safety, the physical safety, and the data privacy, these things you will be able to achieve with the help of Azure Sphere security services. So Azure Sphere security service help you to achieve the security of your Azure infrastructure, Azure devices, the physical safety and data privacy. Okay. Now, because Azure Sphere is a secured high-level application platform with built-in communication. Okay, yes. So the infrastructure safety means, suppose the kind of infrastructure which is in place from, which help you to manage several different devices, right? That is your infrastructure. Infrastructure is not for a particular device. Infrastructure is the mechanism with which you will be able to manage several different devices. So particularly in order to manage the IoTs, different type of physical devices, you need a kind of system, right, which help you to, which help you, a kind of hardware system which help you to govern your different, your entire, number of devices, right? So that is your infrastructure. So with the help of this, you will be able to manage your infrastructure, your physical safety, and your data security. Okay. Now, it comprises a secured connected crossover multi-control unit. So basically, what it does is, the Azure Sphere provide MCU. It provide MCU, that is crossover microcontroller unit. This is your crossover microcontroller unit. This is a computer by itself, a small and powerful kind of computer. Computer itself, which help you to to do the which help you to ensure the security. And what it does, it comprises the secured connected MCU, a custom high-level Linux-based operating system, and a cloud-based security service. Provide the continuous renewable security. So maybe when we say renewable security, that means uh, uh, it's not a static one. So it keep on, it keep monitoring, keep understanding the thing, and keep upgrading itself. So thereby it provides you a renewable security. Okay? And it provides a continuous security, renewable security. And it protect your IoT devices and equipment with defense in depth. So the idea is that complete defense system. So Azure Sphere has some certified chips from hardware partner, including built-in Microsoft security technology to provide the connectivity and a dependable hardware root of trust. Azure Sphere OS, that is a Linux-based OS, and it adds the layer of protection and ongoing security update to create a trustworthy platform for new IoT experience. So it continuously help you to do the upgrade. So basically, Azure Sphere OS. So it help you to protect and ongoing security update. So continuously keep on providing you the security patches for those devices which are connected with Azure Sphere. And Azure Sphere security services broker trust for devices to cloud communication, detect threats, and renew IoT devices security. So there are key features of it. First is Azure Sphere certified chips. So how it does is, it has the certified chips. With the help of these certified chips, you will be able to ensure that the Microsoft security technology ensures that you have a connectivity and dependable hardware root of trust. Next is Azure Sphere OS, which is a Linux-based OS, and it provides you the protection for ongoing security, and ongoing security update to create a trustworthy platform. Okay. Next is Azure Sphere Security Service Broker. So one is Security Service Broker. This Security Service Broker helps you to detect threat and renews IoT devices security. Fourth is Microsoft best-in-class security. Microsoft best-in-class security experts, which are personals, which keep monitoring emerging threats, design update, and provide ongoing services continuously. Okay, so they are working on emerging threats. Emerging threats and design updates continuously. Okay, now let us understand the basic difference. Okay, so now I need to ask you, what is the difference between Azure IoT Hub versus Azure IoT Central and versus Azure IoT Sphere? What is the difference between these three? So we discussed about three things. One is Azure IoT Central. Second is Azure IoT Hub, and third is Azure Azure Sphere Security. What is the difference between these three? So first is, and which one we should be using when, right? So IoT Hub is a central message hub for bidirectional communication between IoT applications and managed devices, right? So if we say the short answer is that these three services, IoT Hub, IoT Central, and Azure IoT Sphere, these three services are complementary with each other, and they provide the complementary offering that work great together. So there is no as such pros and cons, and which we should be using here what and there what. These are, they are having a separate. They provided a kind of services which are like tied together. Which we can bind them together. And IoT Hub on Azure Cloud Services. IoT Hub is basically, IoT Hub is an Azure cloud service, and Azure Sphere is a device technology, and Azure IoT Central is an application. So this is the one thing. What is it? That IoT Hub is a cloud service. We discussed about that it is a cloud service. Azure IoT Hub, IoT Hub is a cloud service. IoT Central. So cloud service, which means that it is a platform as a service. It is a cloud service. IoT Central, it is an application which is built on application. It is an application. That's why it is known as APaaS. Application platform as a service. It provides the UX and API services. Third is Azure Sphere. What it is? It is a device technology. It is a device technology. And these services work, work with each other in a complementary manner. So these are complementary technology for each other, right? Next is what? So IoT Hub provide you the bidirectional communication. Sometimes IoT Hub is compared with IoT. Sometimes people compare IoT Hub with the Event Hub, but Event Hub was a precursor. But Event Hub does not share this type of bidirectional capability. Event Hub was a bit of precursor to IoT Hub for IoT application. But now the IoT Hub is the way to go. So IoT Hub is the foundational platform as a service offering for device communication management and connectivity. It is managed, it is a managed service hosted in the cloud. So basically, when we are talking about IoT Hub, so this IoT Hub is a managed service. It is a cloud, I can say a cloud-based managed service. Okay. And it provides the bidirectional communication. IoT Hub is the foundational platform as a service. Okay, and it is managed. It is a managed service which is hosted on the cloud. You can use Azure IoT Hub to build IoT solution with reliable and secure communication between millions of IoT devices and a cloud-based solution backend. Okay, Azure Sphere is basically to ensure the security. Azure IoT Central is basically provide you a UX and API platform with the help of which you will be able to do a lot of things like like we discussed about the development, the connect, manage, and create and operate, right? So these type of things, if you want, you will be able to do with the Azure IoT Central. Okay. Now I will give you some scenario, and you need to tell me which is the best Azure IoT service for your application. Okay, so now we discussed about the differences between these three, how it works. So now as an architect, you need to understand that in case if scenario is given, and then how you will be able to identify that which device is the way to go. Okay, so we will discuss about these scenarios maybe in our next class. So, but before that, 1 minute. Let us do it quickly because we don't have. Yes, because we are on top of we are on top of the hour, so that is okay. So just so Arpita, can you connect me after? Maybe after say 10-15 minutes. Okay. So guys, let us quickly. I need to ask. Okay. So suppose a company want to build a new voting kiosk for sales to government around the world. Which IoT, which IoT technology, you think the company should choose to ensure the highest degree of the security? Yes, Azure Sphere. That's the right answer. Next, suppose a company want to quickly manage its individual IoT devices by using web-based user interface. Which IoT technology, company should choose? IoT Central, yes. You want to send messages from IoT devices to the cloud and vice versa. IoT Hub, correct. Because IoT Hub provide you the bidirectional services, IoT Sphere provide you the security, and IoT Hub provide you the bidirectional thing. And IoT Sphere provide you the security, and IoT Central let you to create. Have the UX environment and allow you to do several different things with millions of IoT devices, right? Great. So now we are at the top of the hour, anyways. So let us meet in the in our next class. Any question you have?
So in real life scenarios, at least like if IoT Central is used, definitely for the bidirectional data flow, IoT Hub also should be used, right?
Sorry, come again.
Yeah, suppose for development, if a company is using IoT Central, definitely bidirectional data flow would be needed, and IoT Hub also would be used, right?
Yes. So see, IoT Hub we are using whenever there is a need of bidirectional data exchange, right?
Yeah.
So IoT Central, in case if you are developing the data, or particularly in case if you are not developing, particularly for development, it may be a single way, because you are developing and you are deploying it. So users need, you don't need that thing. But in case if you wanted to manage the thing,
Yeah.
then definitely you need bidirectional, because management can't happen without bidirectional. You can build anything and you can deploy it. Final, go. So that is one. That is a unidirectional pattern. So for that, you may not need a bidirectional thing, but wherever you need a bidirectional thing,
Yeah.
you will be able to use it. Yep.
Yeah, you were saying that washing machine, those examples, right? Where it won't need.
Yes, yes, you are right.
Thanks, Girish.
Thank you so much. So let us close for the day. And what do you think? In case I will see, in case if you guys are ready, then perhaps we will be able to